what's the best way somebody can be praying for you at your work. So just quickly, nice brief answers, but let's hear from all of you.
Sure. So just sort of in like litigation tactics, I had the head of patent litigation at my company, and I'm dealing with a lot of bad actors in my view, and just sort of, it's a pretty small legal community. It's a very small patent legal community, and so just prayers for my reputation, in that I'm doing the right thing, because you can be a zealous advocate, but I think your reputation continues throughout your career, and you can make one decision that sort of messes with your reputation. That just in litigation tactics, I would be doing the right thing.
So last year it would have been probably because my firm had been experiencing so much growth, and I was hiring people, and I guess it would have been like prayer about how to maintain excellence in the product and the service, while still being fair to the staff, making sure that they're getting paid well, making sure their workload isn't too much, and that kind of thing. But that's not really my prayer request this year, because we've reached a very good place. There's 12 of us, and they're working as a team, and I think we gave everyone raises, and so everyone's doing very well. But for this year, I think I'm reaching a place now, because I've been doing this for 20 years, that I feel like for the next 20 years, where should I be with respect to the firm, right? Do I just do the same thing that I've been doing, like just twice as much, or do I take it to a different direction? And I think, the 9 deadly sins that we talk about, like that you can bring into work, I think my sin is actually the sin of slothfulness. I know that sounds crazy because I'm so busy, but another definition for slothfulness is pathological busyness. Because it's so easy to just fill your life with being busy about things that just take your time and make you feel superficially productive, but you never really bring yourself to where you should be, the important things that never scream at your face, right? So I think that challenge is there for me, because as I am trying to move on to maybe being more of a speaker and doing other things to bring this wonderful faith and work gospel to the world, I have to think about what does succession look like for me? Like, how do I get to a place where I don't have to be there at all? Like, in my office is running by itself, and that's really tough. Those are things to really pray about, how to get there. How do I really, like I was talking about spiritual estate planning, like how do I get all the values to go down to every staff to the point where I can be confident that they're going to consistently produce the same level of excellence and care, that we have been able to do in my absence. So I guess that's kind of the prayer request for me as I move into this new chapter.
Yeah, very good.
This is a great question, Steve, and I appreciate the opportunity to have so many people in the room continue to pray for what we do. My request would be discernment in 2 areas. The first area would be discernment to be able to balance the imprint of the criminal justice system in my county among all the people that it impacts, and it impacts everybody every day. Primarily, it impacts victims, and it impacts defendants. And you have to really strike the appropriate tone, particularly when you're trying to balance the fruits of the Spirit that we're aware of as Christians, to know the discernment of the degree to which you may charge somebody, or how you're going to deal with someone's case. How are you going to respond to a victim or a witness, or the impact it's going to have in society in terms of the number one mission of government, which is to keep the community safe. Secondly, our organization is over 550 people. There's 220 lawyers, and everyone else is either investigators or administrative and support staff. Personnel issues are huge, and at my level, it's a lot of the time is spent with personnel issues. As any of you may know who deal in those issues, that takes a tremendous amount of discernment to really try to determine what is the real origin, or what is the real dispute at the root of why this person is having a difficult time in the workplace. That's the real trick in trying to discern that. You can have a knee-jerk reaction based on human resource protocol, what you're supposed to do, what the offense was, but being able to have that discernment to get to the real root of the issue that's causing that dispute, I think we as Christians, Christ did that all the time. And nobody was better at that than he was, of pointing out and saying, what's your real issue here? Even with the woman who was caught in adultery, right? We knew what her sin was, but the real issue was what Jesus pointed out to everybody else. You don't have any sin in your life, then you can start making accusations, right? So that was the real root of that issue. So it's that discernment, so I would really appreciate that.
Very good.
I would dovetail that. I think for me, discernment as well, because as lawyers, we can use reason, we can use intuition, we can use the skills, but ultimately it's discerning what God's will is in this situation, and that's a completely different thing. And so as skills and experiences develop, as an attorney, you can become, and certainly I can become more self-reliant. So that discernment helps bring me back to center and realize, okay, God, what's your will here? What are you wanting me to do? What are you wanting us to do? And that would be, that we so appreciate your prayers.